Stitches and Sundries Fiber Podcast. I'm Devynn.
I'm Lauren.
And I can be found...
It's been 4 weeks. We don't know what we're doing.
What are we doing? It's okay. Just go with it. So, I can be found on Instagram as Devynn_no-loose-end.
And I'm Lauren Upstitching.
Yay, we made it,
sort of.
So, it's like 5 o'clock, which is probably later than we've ever podcast before, because we're usually start at like 10 or 11.
Yeah, we start at 10 usually.
But we spent this morning just catching up because it's been 4 weeks for us.
Oh my goodness.
It's been forever. So we just spent the entire morning just chatting away and not doing the podcast. So now it's like dinner time.
My dad showed up this morning.
Oh yeah, that delayed us.
At 9 a.m. And I was like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm going to put in a toilet. We've had our toilet like down here, not our main toilet.
The basement.
Like just sitting in the bathtub for like 6 months. And he's like, he showed up at 9 a.m. I was like, I'm going to put your toilet in. And we're like, okay. And then I was like, wait, why are you showing up at 9 if usually you show up at like 7 to do this kind of stuff? And he's like, well, I thought I'd let you guys sleep in. And I was like, okay, today's the day he decides to show up late. So then that took like until about 11. And then we were supposed to get started at 12. But, I mean...
We just talked.
We just talked for 3.5 hours.
We talked about the basement updates, which this basement is looking beautiful. You see our new room?
Things together.
This is our new podcasting environment.
Yes. Yeah.
Hopefully you guys won't ever have to see my messy room again. Like, that was bad.
Oh, that was fun.
It was so bad.
I
like covered my ugly chair with my shawl, so like it was like not so bad. Because my chair is like, it's an ugly green. It's like a 90s green.
Oh.
Like that, just base. It's not even forest green, because forest green is pretty. This is just like basic green. Ugh, it's so ugly. So I just put my Find Your Fade shawl on it. So I'm like, cover that up.
We both tried to do weird different things to fill your quarantine time.
Yes, because I had to do quarantine because I was very like closely exposed to someone with COVID. Like in my own house, I ate food prepared by her. She tested positive for COVID. I did not, I got a negative result. I don't know why I struggled to say that, but I did not have COVID because is what I'm trying to say.
We've talked too much today. We're out of talkings.
Talking maximum reach. So anyway, we made it through quarantine. Jason and I did without murdering each other.
There you go.
I knit a lot. I have lots of things to show you.
She's carrying the bulk of this podcast. Because if you watch our floss tube last week, you'll see why I did it. I had finishes.
I mean, the reality of our podcasting is you carry the floss tube and I carry the knitting most of the time. I think that's kind of pretty much how it works out.
Yeah, that's kind of pretty much how it works out.
It's just, we have too much content to combine it into one.
Yeah, we have too much content to be one. But at the same time, we also cannot live without each other.
Yeah. So this is what you get.
So this is what you get.
But I think it's fun.
We went 4 weeks without each other, and it was not good. It was not pretty.
Oh my gosh. It's been hard. But...
What do we say? Mutually dragging each other uphill?
Yes, that's your favorite quote about us. That's our friendship.
My mom said something like, to me, like when we first got to be like really good friends, my mom called you my prettiest friend.
Oh, so nice.
Which was incredibly sweet. But she also said, I'm really happy you have Devynn because she's always dragging you forward. And then you said something like, well, she's doing the same thing for me. We're mutually dragging each other uphill. Yeah. And I was like, that perfectly describes our relationship.
That is us, yeah. So,
So you have fun stuff. You have finishes?
No, I do not have a finish. I have a mostly finish.
You have it's a finish.
It's a finish. I mean, it's not blocked.
It's not fully finished, but it's
I have to rip out a section, but not much. So I will show this. Guys. That's perfect. Is that all kind of? I can't even see.
Yeah.
This is my love note.
It is so it's so pretty and it's so soft.
It is. So knitting with this mohair was the devil. This mohair, the thread that is used in it, like not the actual mohair itself, but the thread that is in here is like super abrasive. And I actually have, like, I have a little callus.
Oh my gosh, you do. She literally has rope burns.
I have rope burn from it. So, I'm going to refer you guys to my Ravelry page where I have taken detailed notes on all of the modifications
You are so good.
that I have made to this sweater. I took the notes in case I ever decide to knit this again.
Ah, gotcha.
I did have to make a ton of modifications. And that's mainly because at the end of the day, the Love Note sweater is probably not for me. I have learned, so this is my third sweater, but only the second one I finished. It's my third attempt. Right? Because, well, I knit the Spark cardigan and I completely frogged that and I haven't gone back to it.
Yeah.
And I knit the flax
sweater. And we'll
sweater.
never speak of it again, really.
Yeah, we'll probably reference it a lot, actually. It was my learning experience. So this sweater is meant to be knit with, I think, like 10 inches of positive ease. I am not a positive ease person. I don't know if it's negative ease or just like 2 inches of positive ease is what I like.
Yeah.
So
more fitted.
I do like more fitted. The basic modifications that I'll tell you that I made is, one, I knit the cropped version. So when you buy this pattern, you can knit the full length or the cropped.
Gotcha. I
chose cropped. I only knit one section of the lace repeat, so I don't know if you guys can even see because I didn't block it,
so
it's not showing up so well.
I mean, you tried it on to show me it finished, and it lays on the top of your boobs so nicely.
It fitted, which I like, and when I block it, it's gonna grow, but I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna grow to just have enough positive ease that it's not going to be excessively baggy, which is what I'm looking for. It also called for, I think, like 3/4 sleeves, whatever this length is.
Yeah, 3/4.
As I was knitting the sleeve, I really liked it at this length, and I thought, well, I want to figure out how to make a flutter, a ruffle. So I did something. It's poofy. So the biggest modification I had to make was I knit the size smaller than what I intended, and I had to make a ton of adjustments to the sleeves because your girl's got some guns here, beefy arms. So I made my arms bigger, and it started to look like a cute little puffy sleeve.
No, yeah.
And I think it's going to puff when I block it a little bit, and then it's going to have this little ruffle on it.
Yeah, so you got to block it to get this ruffle to kind of stay, right?
Hopefully I can figure out how to make that happen. I mean, it is ruffling the way I expected it to. I didn't do a pleated ruffle.
Okay.
So it is doing what I expected to, and it looks better on than it does.
It does look incredibly cute on you.
It is not doing itself justice. And once I weave in my ends and I wash block this, and I have to take this sleeve out and redo the ruffle on this side because there were not instructions for it, and I had to make it up, and I ended up buying a book that was all about edge work. Oh. And I'll show the book later as my acquisition, but I ended up having to use the book to do the edges because I could not find how to do a ruffle sleeve or a fluttery sleeve or just a looser short sleeve. I was looking up all kinds of things, and I found paid patterns that would have been really helpful, but I didn't want to pay for another pattern to do the same sweater.
Yeah.
So I ended up paying for a book, but the book will be helpful in the long run.
Yeah, it has lots of things in it, not just one more.
So it is looking great. It has a high-low hem, so the back is slightly 1 inch longer in the back than the front.
That is just so beautiful.
And that is per pattern. Mm-hmm. The rest of it, the body, of course, is per pattern. The main thing I did was I knit the size smaller just so it was a little more fitted because I love my flax sweater, and that sweater has 4 inches of positive ease, and sometimes it does bother me how baggy it is. Yeah. So I think I'm much more comfortable in the tighter fitting sweater, so I need to pay attention to that when I pick out patterns in the future.
That's true. Well, you've learned a lot about what you like to work on and wear.
3 sweaters. Even though one is frogged, I just learned.
Yeah, you learned a ton.
But yeah, I have all my ends.
If nothing else, you learned how to do the 2 at a time thing from the
yes,
the one sweater.
I did learn how to do 2 at a time, and I learned some tips to help me with color work too. Yeah. So that's the thing. But this neckline, I do love the neckline.
I love that
neckline. It uses a provisional cast on. So after you knit the lace and you knit the body, and then you pick up the stitches at the neck and you knit upward. And that is really nice because if I didn't have to adjust it, I know a couple people have made adjustments to this to make it like cinch in a little more, but this is actually perfect for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's going to look like once I block it. I hope it doesn't grow too much. I'm going to try really hard not to take the sweater any further this way when I block it and just take it down.
Yeah.
Because I am going to try to open up that lace.
Yeah, you need to open up the lace. I think getting used to wearing a crop top, I mean, this is obviously meant to go over something.
Oh, yeah.
But it is...
I have outfits planned for this, Lauren.
That is so awesome.
I have outfits planned.
But you're going to have to get used to not tugging.
I know. Because I've tried it on. Every time I try, I'm like tugging on it a little.
She's constantly like...
But when I block it, I think it's going to get just that extra little bit of length out of it that will help. But I really love this. And this happened so fast. So I want to tell you, I've only been knitting on this for 2 days.
Whoa. Well, you said it's actually considered a quick knit, right?
It's a quick knit.
You just were piddling with the math for so long.
I was piddling with the math. I struggled so much to make all the adjustments, yada, yada, yada. It was a challenge. But like I said, my Ravelry page, it has links to blog posts that I reference. It has the details on the sleeves that I edited. It is like, I took all the notes because... I do like how this sweater came out, and if I ever knit it again, I think I might do waist shaping because I like things to be just a little snugger because I think that's why I keep tugging on this. It just feels like it's too far away from my body.
Oh,
so if I brought it in, and I mean, I could also try to find a sweater pattern that's more fitted.
Could do that. But someday you'll be so good at modifying sweater patterns that you'll just come back to this and whip it out.
Maybe one day.
One day.
I am going to mention a knitwear designer who I referenced for the style of sleeve that I want. Obviously, I haven't bought one of her patterns yet. But if you're looking for someone who does some really cool sleeves, Fable Knitwear, she has some awesome, she has this really cute peasant blouse style top. She does some really cool stuff.
Maybe we'll put a picture in here so you can kind of see.
It's got poofy sleeves and it cuffs in here. It's so cute. I do not know if she is size inclusive. I was literally just looking for sleeves, so I didn't dive into details.
Gotcha.
But her stuff is definitely of interest to me. So I will be looking for more patterns like that.
Definitely.
But I love it. It's so poofy.
And it's so soft.
It is like a thick monster. It is so warm.
Oh, I bet.
It is like a blanket.
I bet.
Yeah. Put it on my lap.
Okay.
So that is my finish-ish. I have a whip, and then I have 2 new starts.
All right, do your whip, and then I'll do a whip update.
Okay, so there is.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Awful.
Oh God.
So this is Birds of a Feather.
Ooh, this is coming along so nice.
And this is by Andrea Mowry.
And how beautiful.
I'll hold it this way because it seems to show better this way.
Oh yeah, it totally does. Look at, that.
It is.
These rough leaves.
Look at how see-through this is. I love that.
I'm adoring these colors together.
Yeah, I know, right? They worked out really well. I was kind of nervous about them, but they are going so nicely. So I am using Lichen and Lace, single ply fingering weight yarn is this. I think this color is called Silver Fox, and I think this is called Soot. Not 100% sure on that.
Those sound correct to me.
And then the green, I have been saying her name wrong this whole time. It's Pandia's Jewels, not Pandias. So, I actually watched a video that she's in with Christy Glass knits.
And you're like, oh man.
Oh man, I'm a dork. So it's Pandia's Jewels. And this green is Siren Song, which is, I don't think it's a color that she carries all the time, or...
But that's one, I love that name, and it's perfect descriptor of that color. Perfect. And I
mean, she does a lot of dark, gothy, Halloween-y yarns. You would be so into her. That is where the toad came from. The toad one familiar that you have?
I gotta learn to do stuff better so I can make something with that, because I love that.
She has, I mean, she dyes on all the kinds of bases. Like, you should totally check her out. Just saying. Because it fits your gothy spirit.
Lauren, you've decided to take a yarn spending break, so let me vicariously live through Lauren's.
Yeah, I'm on a yarn diet. I'm on a financial diet. Not really on a food diet. I'm on an exercising.
You're so good.
Thing.
We should start doing walks.
But yeah, yes, we should. I'm on a park exploration because I'm looking for the next place to live.
Yeah. So that's one of our conversations in our freaking 4 hours of chatting was me convincing you
to buy a house.
that it wasn't an impossible dream that would take 7 years to get to, and that you needed to be in the most perfect life position ever.
If only you were. So like in our floss tube episode, I talked about like how I had like a period where I was just kind of like really down in the last couple of weeks. I just kind of felt like I'm never going to get there. I kind of just hit a point and I'm like, I'm working so hard and I'm just never going to get there. I'm 31 years old and I want out. Because right now I'm living with my boyfriend and his dad. I don't know why this is sitting here either.
Because it's cozy.
It's just
because it's cold down in this basement.
It's snuggly. But I'm living with my boyfriend and his dad, and I'm so ready for us to like make this next step. And I came up with the perfect plan, and then I lost all faith in the perfect plan, and then I just became convinced that the world is a dark, terrible place, and nothing's ever going to work for Devynn.
And she wouldn't talk to me because I would have shown up and she didn't want me to show up. But I would have been like on the door like, Devynn, I brought cookies and hot chocolate and wine. Actually, it probably would have been beer.
And while I was feeling that way, I spent a lot of time knitting this shawl.
Yes.
I should talk about that because
how much farther you got?
Oh, I have a lot. This is, I think there's 14 total sections. God, this is like a mess. Just don't even look at that.
Don't even look at that. Let me fix it.
It's really not bad. It's just the yarns they're dancing.
They're dancing. That's what they're doing.
So I think last time I showed this, I might have been here-ish.
Yeah.
Because I knit a lot on this thing. I knit several sections. I think I knit these 3 sections. And it is going pretty quickly, but I keep saying this, but I'm definitely to the point where the stitch count is getting larger, and so it will take me more time. I am enjoying this. It is a garter stitch primarily with a little bit of lace in it, and it is fun. It is definitely one of my go-to projects. I don't love knitting with the single strand of mohair as much because I do have to make sure that I catch the stitch. So I see that. Like, I don't lose it often, but I do enough that I just kind of every once in a while have to kind of stop myself and say, wait, make sure nothing is unraveling because if you don't just get all the way through it. But it is fun and I'm loving it and the yarns are perfect and it's going to be super soft when it's ready.
Oh yeah.
Here, we can just drop that back in this bag. I know you want to work on that knot.
There's a knot.
It's fine.
Remember that day you got angry and you threw a ball of yarn across the room and it got so tangled and I just sat there unpicking it and you're like, Lauren, I'll cut it. I'm so angry. I'll cut it. I'm like, no, I'm just going to pick this out for 2 hours.
This single strand stuff, it kind of spirals a bit. And so, that's
like
the
freaking thread.
It's the twist in it because it doesn't have anything to grip because it's just one thing of its own. So it just kind of twists and kinks a little bit, but it doesn't tangle too often. This might once I shove it in the bag, as I do. But anyway, this is a very fun knit.
Yeah, it's super cute.
Something I have been working on pretty regularly.
Yeah.
So that's what I have.
You want me to do a whip update?
Yeah, show us yours.
I'm not going to show anything in this whip update because I'm angry at it. So, So I got started on the Cranibo sweater, which I showed last time, and finally got gauge by working much tighter than I would normally work. So I would have to tug after every stitch to get it correct. And I can do that. That's not terrible to do. But you just have to be very thoughtful throughout the entire, like, it's not
right
potato chip work. It's thinking about almost every stitch. And my brain was like 5 rows in and was like, I don't want to do this.
For a small project that might not be so bad, but for an entire sweater. That's going to be a lot. And
if you drift, if you forget for a couple rows, suddenly your gauge is like, you just balloon. And I just decided I don't want to.
Guess what,
I put it in a bag.
That's okay.
I also was like, if I do all this and, finish this in, let's say I'm as slow as I am on crochet projects, which is pretty slow, and I finish it, I'd probably finish it right in the middle of June, July, and it's a heavy sweater. It is worsted weight yarn. You're not wearing that. I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So I just shoved it all in a bag. It may come back. It may not. Now we did get some fantastic comment by.
Was it Mourning Dew Studio?
It was Mourning Dew Studio. It was. She gave me some great advice about pairing yarns and what to look for when you're pairing yarns for a project. So that was super helpful. Thank you so much.
If you don't already watch her podcast, I am an avid subscriber. But if you,
I have watched her a couple times now, and
she is very educational.
Yes, and I really appreciate that.
And she's also very gothy.
I know. I just need to embrace that more. Like.
Oh, you already have. You just don't know it.
I just need to be more public about it. I'm trying to I've set aside some of my I got a little of the stimulus money, and I set aside some of it for a tattoo. Woo-hoo! And my sister's like, a tattoo, really? I was like, hey, you set aside some of your money for something fun. I mean, we put a lot of work into our house, which is a big expense for us. But she set aside some money for something fun, and I was like, I'm going to set aside something for something fun. And my dad was like, because the tattoo would come right here on my shoulder. And my dad was like, oh, be really careful. You want to be able to cover that for professionalism. And I was like, Dad, tattoos don't make you unprofessional anymore. Like, let's just all move past that. Like, let's all move past it.
Well, and it's also been a while since you've had a client-facing type of position.
Yeah.
So I don't know that is the biggest concern.
It doesn't matter. But I do love her style. Her style is pretty amazing. So we got some really great advice, and then I was like, I hate this project. So that is my whip update. I will probably try it again just because I did like the pattern and I liked the color. But I definitely need to find a better yarn to pair it with and do and I need to step away from the frustration of it to just distance myself.
Give yourself some space.
Yeah, give myself some space from
it. Like I'm doing with the Spark cardigan.
Exactly. So it's in a bag.
That's where mine is.
And it's gonna stay there for a while. So anyway, I have something else to show, but I will let you do one of your new starts as well, because mine is a new start. I started something fun because I wanted to, because I was frustrated.
So, speaking of Mourning Dew Studio,
ooh,
Kristina is doing test knits.
Oh yes, this is neat.
So, I have been.
Okay, I love this yarn.
I know, I knew you would love this yarn. This is perfect yarn. I've been working on, so right now she has, I think, 2 shawls available to test. One is called Ruth. That is the one I'm test knitting. So this is Ruth. And she has said on her channel that all you have to do is just message her, reach out, and she'll send you the pattern to test knit. She's really just looking for people to test it out with a variety of fingering weight yarns. Mm-hmm. And her pattern, the one thing like that you will get from her pattern is you will learn the importance of the weight of your yarn. Like not what am I trying to say? Like the yardage and the grams.
Oh.
So she is teaching me how to kind of calculate if I have enough yarn left to do different sections. So with this shawl, I'm not very far into it. I'm not to the point where the grams are, where I'm not to the point where I have to weigh it a whole lot. But I had to buy a scale to do this test knit because this little food scale is like, I don't know, $8 at Walmart.
Yeah, just enough to measure grams.
And it is pretty accurate with the label of this yarn. So that was cool. So this is Ruth, and it is a triangular shawl. So this is working toward the point. Yep.
Oh, that's so
This
pretty.
yarn shows really well.
Oh
so
my gosh.
This is Pandia's Jewels, and this is the color London Fog.
Oh, I love it so much.
I know, it's so pretty. And you know, I had this yarn in my stash forever, and I just like didn't know what to do with it. It's one skein. I bought it because I love the color. It is like the perfect bluey green, dreary London day color.
London Fog's a great name for it. It's so it's so mossy to me. I love that.
And so this shawl is a very, very fun, fast knit. It is curling because it's stockinette stitch. What Kristina is trying to do is teach you how to knit her shawls and use up the most of your yarn as possible. And like that's perfect for me because I have a problem with leftovers.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
It is really fun, and it will also like for me, I could see something I would do is maybe if I figure out how much yarn it takes me on this size of needles to knit from here. So there's a lace section, but if I have like yarn that might fit from here to the lace, and then the lace is in a different color, I could do something like that. I could see that. Like, could you imagine this edged in black, like having a whole black lace section? Or even like a dark blue? Like, that would be so pretty.
That would be gorgeous.
I don't have that yarn in stash, so I'm not doing that. I'm doing one whole skein with this, but I will definitely be taking full advantage of what she is teaching me.
I love an educational pattern.
That is what this is. And she also has in her pattern, a lot of shawls leave out how to make your edges neater. She does tell you like to do that.
That is
to make
cool.
your edge. Because otherwise this edge would be bumpy and weird. Like I can tell you the Find Your Fade, I don't know what I guess maybe like you probably do the same thing actually. But the Find Your Fade shawl does not mention anything about that. Not that that's a bad pattern, but I'm just saying it doesn't have that neatness factor.
Different designers assume a different level of
yes.
And experience.
And what you're going to get from Kristina is neat and accurate. Oh my gosh, is she neat and accurate.
I love it.
So again, that's Mourning Dew Studio. She has a channel on YouTube, and I'm giving her a big shout out because she's been awesome.
She's pretty damn amazing.
Yes. So I love this, and this yarn, I keep petting it as we're holding it. It's so soft.
It is. It's soft, and it's like.
So this is Pandia's Jewels. It's her snug fingering weight base, and I can see that she actually carries this base. I'm pretty
Instead of stuff you bought a decade ago.
Well, I did buy this forever ago, but I'm pretty sure she still has this base, and it is I don't know. It's like it is superwash. It does have some nylon in it. I forget what the percentage is. It's like probably 80-20.
Yeah.
But it is a very soft yarn, and I'm enjoying it.
Beautiful. I can't wait to see it come together.
And I knit this in 2 days.
You've been a mad woman though.
Well, what's crazy is the amount of progress that I have between this sweater and this shawl and this new start and the other shawl. Like all of that took place rapidly.
Yeah.
We've had a month, but most of that time I was not crafting. And then there was like a few days where I just like focused.
Yep.
So
it happens.
But this has been one I haven't been able to put down. I am getting close to the point where I have to constantly weigh, but I'm not quite there. And once I get there, I will need to be like at a desk to knit on it from there because you have to weigh it continuously at different points just to make sure you have enough yardage to go. Because that's the whole point of the testing is to figure out if you have what it takes to finish the sections.
Cool. That's really cool. That's such a neat different way to think about things. I really like that. I really like that.
And she said something in one of her podcasts about testing her patterns in DK. And while I don't have a huge stash of DK, I do have like 4 skeins of, they're just like one-offs. They're 250, I think they're 250 grams. So after I do this and maybe finish up something else, I might message her and say like, hey, I'm ready to do a DK test.
Hey, I need more stuff.
Need more patterns from you. Need more testing.
So for me, okay, so I have a new start as well. So
I'm
this
so excited for this
is my start of, this is called The Sum of Its Parts Pullover.
That is a cute name. Do you want me to hold your...
Yeah, hold my little ball. Because I did a basically, I've started and got a whole skein in this already. I started this not too long ago, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, after I got really fed up with some stuff. And I worked on my blanket for a while. This is by Sarah Wright, or I Need It Crochet. She's on Instagram. She also has her own blog. And she gives away a crap ton of beautiful free patterns. Like,
Ooh.
She's a ridiculous woman. She's a ridiculously generous designer who is constantly giving out free stuff. You can get this pattern for free on her blog. I just paid, I think it was $7 on Ravelry to support her because I think she does amazing stuff. And this is my start. And I'll show this and then I'll talk a little bit about kind of the process of getting here. So this is my little kind of bib start. And
that is so cute. I love this lilac color. Look, it matches your wall.
It's called silver. It's supposedly just gray. To me, it's gray. Sarah says the same thing, though. There's purple in it.
There's definitely... Well, we're also in a purple room, so maybe that is why I'm thinking it's so purpley.
So this is...
it picks up on the camera as gray.
This is a fascinating sweater. So how I got to this point is... So I had bought a skein of this. This is Lion Brand's Kobu. When I was fighting with the Cranivo sweater. And because this yarn exactly matches the gauge for the bright, colorful yarn I was using in that, the finch feather. And I thought maybe if I get 2 types of yarn that have the exact same gauge, it will just solve all my problems magically. And I started working with it and I just didn't like them together. This is too light. It kind of washed everything out. So I just didn't like them together. And when I decided to throw the Cranivo in the bucket, I was like, okay, I have this skein of yarn. I actually really liked working with it. It's super soft.
It is very soft.
It's silky soft. This is a cotton bamboo blend. It's a little splitty. That's the one thing I will say about it. It's a little splitty.
It's typical of cotton, though.
It is. It wasn't bad at all. And so I was like, I liked working with it. I like this color. My sister really liked this color because, like she said, it was more purple. And now that I put it next to my nails,
we have a purple wall, so I do think this room is really
coloring everything.
But it is definitely. But I can see the silveriness.
So I went and I was like, okay, what do people make with this yarn? I'll just see what's out there. I typed into Instagram, and the very first thing that came up was, I think Jessica, and I think it's Koi Crochet. Koi Crochet test knit this pattern in pink, and it was gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. And so I was like, okay, well, I want to do that. Period. I want that. And because it's cotton, it's going to be a nice light. You know, it can go into spring, into summer. It'll be really nice to have. So, looked it up, bought the pattern, and then was chatting with my friend Mary about getting started with it. We did basically a virtual Stitch and Bitch because we hadn't caught up since she had COVID. She had it, scared the life out of me. And she was like, oh, I love that too. I have all this Kobu yarn she was doing a blanket that she threw away. And was like, I have all this Kobu yarn too. Do you want to do it together? And I was like, abso-freaking-lutely I do. We're going to do a stitch along. So she is going to do it in a bright turquoise.
Ooh.
With her bright red hair. It's going to look amazing. And I'm going to do it in this silver. And I had one skein. and she had a 3-pack of this that she had bought for her blanket, and was like, she's like, you give me yarn all the time, you can have it.
Woohoo!
So I was like, okay. So I had to buy another 3-pack that I just got. I think I got it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
But the and then I sat down, and and Mary messaged me and said, oh, what size are you doing? This Kobu yarn supposedly stretches really bad. I was like, oh no, I better. And I thought, you know what? I know somebody who has made this exact sweater. I've seen this person. I don't know this person. In this exact yarn. I'll message them on Instagram. So I messaged Jessica at Crochet, and she was so helpful. She was so sweet. She was like, the pattern stitches up a little big, so you might want to size down. But the yarn did not stretch at all once I blocked it. It was perfect. It looks like this. It works like this. You're really going to enjoy this pattern. And I was like,
awesome.
It was just so nice to have somebody that had exactly worked on this exact thing say, here's the pitfalls. Here's what you're going to run into, but
look at us reaching out to the knitting community, crochet community.
I know, and everybody's so freaking sweet. So we were really happy. I was really happy to have her advice and her like expertise, because she test knits all the time. I follow her all the time now, and I'm like, she's made another gorgeous thing. It's not. So then I got started, and this is a strange construction. So I'm making so I first started by making this triangle, this top triangle, and then I made a really big long chain to make my thing, and then started going out from there. And this will sit on my shoulders. I've tried it on for Devynn, and it's sitting perfectly. So you make yourself a big long poncho triangle, and then you add the sides, and then you add another piece, and then you seam them in the back. It's a fun construction. I've never seen it, but that's why it's called the sum of its parts, because you're making all these parts and putting them together.
That is really cool.
And
I am excited to see this.
I am too. I'm excited to have it. And it's considered what did I say?
You said
ambitious beginner, or advanced beginner, or whatever.
Adventurous.
So it's perfect to get myself back into the sweater building mode. So I'm really pleased with it. So.
And I think you should be. It is perfect.
It is
nice. So I have another shawl. This is on my Instagram Make 9, which says the birds of a feather. So this shawl
this is
a
already.
new start. Also knit in like one evening. I know.
So ridiculous.
Wow, it was just all I did. Didn't move. Became a vegetable of just knitting.
Sometimes we need that in our life, though.
Help me.
I got
my bag is falling. And then my foot got trapped in another bag. Okay.
That's cute. Good God, let's just say, look at this cute bag. And then it blinded me.
Oh, it is not that bright in person. I mean,
These lights are like,
it is red.
It is red. It is pretty bright. It's just like.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, pull
Let me
the.
get that little. Yeah.
Yeah,
little. Oh no! Oh,
it's all scrunched. It's not gonna pull out like the other one. The other one looked really nice, but this one, so it's a triangle shawl. I don't know how to hold this and make it look nice. But
there we go. That's close. That's close. There we go.
Looks. Hello.
We just lost power.
Oh, we have power back.
Hello again.
Do not edit that out. Leave that in.
I should be our still.
Hello.
It's just my little reflection of my glasses in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
We
were in the middle of rain, like a lot of rain.
Maybe it's all good. It's very dark in here.
We're in my basement. Come save us.
I'm not sure that it's coming back this time.
Oh no. Oh my gosh.
Is there any...
Sarah's coming to save us, I hear her.
We can't even move because we can't see a thing.
Here she comes with a flashlight.
Sarah!
Yo, guys.
Do you want to finish recording like this?
Oh my gosh, we should.
Okay. We're gonna do it, guys.
So Sarah's here with a flashlight.
We lost
Hi.
So,
Sarah's gonna be our lighting guy.
I hope you guys got to see this.
Oh
before.
my gosh.
I can't even talk.
Oh, it's so pretty though.
This shawl, let's be serious now.
Yes, serious.
I'm getting it together. So this shawl is the Fleur shawl. It is by Espace Tricot. I was supposed to look up to see if it's a free pattern, but I did not do that. You guys can do that.
We got this shit together, obviously. I love these like raspberries.
I do too. So these
like,
are little what are they called? Baubles? Baubles. And it is not my first time doing knitted baubles, but I am trying to make them pop better. So I've been trying a couple different techniques.
Yeah. I like a juicy bauble.
I like a good bauble. I'm actually thinking about trying to do a crochet bauble. Because I'm not as happy with this bauble.
The crochet baubles are nice and like pop good.
Yeah, this bubble. But anyway, so
Sarah, you gotta be the lighting person.
I was gonna go get the big lantern light.
I
We're
think we're
almost
gonna
done.
finish up here quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since we're in the dark in our basement.
Oh, Sarah's phone is talking.
It's telling us there's a winter storm warning, you think?
Oh, great.
Or probably a flood warning.
So all right, I'll finish this up. So this shawl has been a lot of fun to knit on. It was one of the first things I picked up to knit or started to knit after my previous weekend or previous week where I was kind of just feeling a little down and not so happy about things. This is garter stitch. Garter stitch is my jam, and
I also love the like speckles in
the speckles of hot pink. So the yarn in this white with speckles is Madeline Tosh, and it's called, I think, Winter's Rest. And then this red burgundy is Elderberry, and it is a Pandia's Jewels.
We do love some Pandias here.
I'm trying to use up my stash, and I've accumulated quite a bit of her yarn, so I am burning through it. So this shawl is a very quick knit. I'm very excited because this is from the recent update that they did to the pattern. It was originally a DK weight only pattern, and they updated it for fingering weight, which is what I have a ton of in stash. So I have been working my butt off on this.
I hear a little dog came down into the dark.
She can't.
She can't see.
Hold on a minute, guys.
Oh, we're in the dark again. Our lighting guy left us. I guess this is the end of the podcast.
I think we can just say goodbye now. So guys,
all right. Well, we're gonna go find out why we don't have power. So have a great week, guys. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
bye guys.
Oh, weird. Your little title tag thing needs to say "lights out."
Yes.
And then I'll be like, "What's lights out? Lights out, lights out." And then at the end of the video,
We're just gonna get us in the dark.